Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Senator.
Yes, thank you for intervening. I don't know. I even have had to change gadgets. That's when I'm able to get in. So I think with the other co-hosts like Head Sefu, Head Nerima, and others, and I think we can proceed from where we left off. That request had been made, and I think it's quite in order. If that song is if they have a song which is ready that they can share, let us share them, because this is a collective effort, and we want to use all tools of exposition to be able to communicate the message that the time when we were subjects is long gone. We are now citizens, and citizens have rights. Citizens have rights and have duties, and one of our duties is to uphold the Constitution and to defend the rule of law. So thank you, and let us proceed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator. And Abdul Rahman, you are the co-host. I think you heard the program, so I'd like to give it back to you, the Senator, because I'm just here to listen to you. Then I'm trying to connect back Nerima to join the space.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Abdurrahman. I am struggling and fighting from Mombasa and Coast region. We had 13 issues that have been read to us by Sefu. But before we go to the issues on the National Coordination Committee for the People Assembly, Senator, Mizani are hosting the same space with the same name, and I can see some of our participants are also there.
Is it possible to combine them?
Sefu is there. Social Democrat is there. The Sefu Sani, the lady that was leading that. So I don't know if I can drop a minute and ask them to close the space. If we are sure the KOT Sonko space will not be dropped, then we can have collective efforts. Senator, is that in order?
Yeah, it's in order.
Yeah, I think that's a very great idea.
Can I ask them to come, or do we join them in that space?
Abdul, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Ayo.
Please ask them to come here, if possible. Please just ask them to come here. And this is the thing, we need to learn to speak from one voice. If we host parallel spaces, it just shows how disorganized we are. So please just ask them to come here. Now that Senate is here, just ask them to come here.
Yes, exactly. That is my point. I can also see there is another by Kasmuel and Okiya Omtatah. Senator, you had put him on the poster that you're running. Did you have a prior communication so that
it was arranged
we are trying to iron out?
It was arranged by the group. I was not involved in the arranging. The group is which arranged.
Okay, fair enough. So give me a minute. The other space, ask them to close, then we come and we can start with the. Thank you so much. Just a minute, I will be back.
Okay. In the meantime, I think anybody who has something to say, we can continue.
Okay, Senator, let me just help to accept the microphones, then we proceed. And also, Ayo, you'll kindly help. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, please.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Hello. I'm sorry.
I believe I can be speaking as we wait for the rest of the team to come in from the space.
Yeah, sure.
We have
Please go ahead with your submission. We'll be listening in.
all right. We have Katiba Day coming up, and it's a very important day, and it's a day we want to make a statement and a statement in our unity and in our will to move forward and to forge forward together. One of the proposals I'm making is if we can have a central place of meeting arranged as soon as today, so that tomorrow, if we're going to be meeting at a place where we can converge and then have the march together, that will be wonderful. Additionally, as we are forming as we are forming structures from the grassroots coming up, I will urge us to also be set and ready to volunteer ourselves without necessarily having to have to be paid or to be assured of political positions, because that is something that has been a huge challenge in our country, the politics of betrayal. And it's important that as young people we do not become the same people that we have derided. Looking back at Raila betraying Charity Ngilu and Kijana Wamala back then, and that's really it's a situation where you never come back from that, really. And it's our treatment of Osama back last in a few months ago is a testament on how politics should be run. We want to set us a bar whereby if somebody falls, even if it's me, and in the next few days I do something which is contrary to our values, I have to take a step back. I might be supporting, but I have lost public confidence. And it's a democracy that we want to. It's a meritocracy come democracy that we want to create amongst ourselves, where we have high standards, and these standards will play greatly in the members of parliament that we will have sooner than later, in my opinion, in the caliber of members of parliament that we will have. For example, if we're going to be playing politics as a team in Ugunja and Banisa and elsewhere, if we're going to be putting our feet there and across the country, if we're not going to wait for 2027 so that the country crumbles, and then that's when we start doing something, as many have spoken on Twitter and elsewhere, that we need to let Kenyans suffer. That is not what leaders do. Kenyans might not have joined us on the streets, but it doesn't mean that we stop standing up for them and standing up for ourselves as well. It is important that on 27, when we show up, it is a moment where we actually are starting a process of applying the constitution ourselves. That is finding ourselves MCAs who are going to be making sure that the governments at the local level, in the county governments, are going to be accountable. In Isiolo, for example, there's a young gentleman who has been talking about that county. We need to bring him on board, and he needs to have structures there so that he can be a good citizen for his people back there. We need to get those in Mombasa. Our friend Joshua Kai is in Mombasa at the moment, and is traveling around that place and meeting people and meet grades and also making sure that the university students there have hope that we can actually have united front against the high fees that have been levied against the students. So it is important, as these things happen, that we have structures that can actually speak in one voice, that can actually be able to make statements, analyze the Auditor General reports in the various constituencies, visit the projects, document the cases of extrajudicial killing, have evidence if possible, so that if we get the opportunity, not if, when we get the opportunity to take them to court, and also to make sure that these culprits, we make sure that they are actually jailed and justice is served for the comrades who have been murdered, abducted, and even injured. That is my submission so far. I can see Grace has the hand raised up, so I'll give her an opportunity to speak as we continue. Grace Oluano, I believe you have your Olwande. Okay,
I can
Dr.
see Grace. I can't see her, but I wanted to respond to you, Baraka. Is that okay?
That's wonderful. It's okay.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to thank once again Honorable Okiya Omtatah for taking time off his schedule and hosting this space. We don't have many politicians who engage with the citizenry, so that is quite commendable. Thank you. Thank you once again, KOT and IO, for consistently hosting. Now, Baraka, Wakili Baraka, I would like to respond to you. I've listened to your submission. One thing you mentioned was sorry, pardon me, Osama. Now, I would like to say, first of all, in regards to that, you see a pattern of people who have been abducted, who come out of prison and start, are just, dismissing the abductions of others. I would like to say, in these regards, that it's only a matter of time until they come for each and every one. So we should not just dismiss someone because they made an error. Yes, we have people who might have betrayed the movement. However, and I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who wasn't even aware when this wave of, canceling started. So I would like to say the enemy, if we don't identify the enemy, which is the reason there are betrayals in the first place, which is the reason people are internally fighting, then this movement is going to fall. And we cannot let that happen. We have to look at the lives that have been lost and focus on that and not someone like Osama. So that is what I have to say to that, first of all. And remember, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So whoever supports the movement, be it a politician, that's just my perspective, whoever supports the movement should be incorporated into it. You need all voices right now, not exclusion. You exclude one and then they come out. And I'm just really seeing this pattern and I'm wondering, what happens during these abductions? What happens? Because everyone who has left prison has come back and really talked nothing, mentioned nothing anymore about the movement Ruto must go. And that is quite regrettable if you look at the lives that have been lost. So that is one thing I'd like to say. And then I'd also like to add that for this movement to be successful, first of all, identifying the enemy is focus. And we can see that we have, or you have in Kenya, a president who's consistently lying. Now, lying can be seen as, you can lie just a bit, and then there are lies which cost lives, and that is dangerous. So he has to be stopped. The movement is bigger than one individual. It is not about an influencer. It's not about me or you. It is way, way bigger than that. We have to always look at the people who lost their lives fighting for the freedom and liberation of the entire continent. And only then will this movement succeed. So cancellation is wrong on all grounds. It is very wrong. I think it's time we move on and we focus. Now there is a bigger, very much bigger issue that is coming up on the 27th. We need to talk about how we can make that successful as opposed to those who you feel betrayed you. So I think, first of all, people should, when protesting, and why the protests in other countries are successful as opposed to those in Kenya. First of all, convening on an open space and talking about all the plans, that is a mistake because we know he has his minions here listening. I think this organization has to occur outside the space. People have to be in town prior to 5 a.m. People have to understand that they're fighting for the liberation of Kenya, in which the IMF and World Bank are heavily involved. It is not just a fight for independence, because the fight for independence, much as we say, okay, 12th of December 1963, it was never gained. It was gained on paper. We don't know at the moment who Kenya is sold to. It
Land,
might be the
this land,
entire nation.
land.
Sorry, Baraka, Wakili Baraka.
You call land because I'm seeing a lot of people are texting, and it would be nice to have other people speak as well. Yeah, please land.
Absolutely, I agree, and I apologize. So let us focus on the movement. Let us talk about how people can convene, and we should also do away with the politics of electing somebody based on their financial wealth, because all that wealth was stolen anyway. We should support people who listen to the Wananchi, like Okiya Omtatah. Not many people do that, and let us try to support these people and elect people on the basis of merit and not financial wealth. Thank you very much. And I yield and drop.
Kioti, I think you can distribute the mic so that we have as many voices speaking, especially since Okiya is here, so that they can give their comments, so that it is not just us speaking. Yeah, Misiko. Misiko, CEO.
Misiko, is your turn. If you can hear me, probably he can't hear you because of the issues that Twitter has been having. Misiko, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, go ahead, please. Your 3 minutes begin now. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. Kioti and Okiya Omtatah. It's a good evening. It's a great day for every one of us. My review today is that I feel like it's the time that we Kenyans don't trust any leader as per now. We have seen these leaders failing everything we are trying to do. We have seen them failing us. Let's start with the doctors. The other day, doctors striked. They were claiming for interns to be employed. 3 people were called because they are leaders of the KMPDU. I don't know what they were told, and they called off the strike. Up to date, we have still interns not employed. The other day, we had teachers who were calling the strike to have the JCC teachers to be employed. We had the Mbadi, the new CS saying that we don't have fund in treasury to employ the JCC. I don't know what happened over the moon. Through a phone call on a media in a media, in another hour we are being told that they've called off the strike. So is there time in this movement for the movement that we want a good governance for our country? We again find it that we don't need anyone to lead this movement, because if we get someone who can lead this movement and get manipulated, he comes with a different motive and confuses people and tell people what they've been called and been instructed to do. Then they drag us behind and they drag everything behind, because everything that we are doing is for this country, for the betterment of this country, and it's for all of us to stand, because we want a good governance, we want accountability, we want affordable education for our kids, we want good health facilities and good health places for our country. So for me today, I just feel like we have lost our trust with the leaders. Is this time we have to change everything? We have to ask our president to step down. We get other leaders who will understand, who will lead this country, and who will understand what Kenyans want for the betterment of our future. Thank you so much.
I believe we can focus on talking about the National Coordinating Committee for the People's Assemblies across the country. That is the committee that is going to help us to mobilize forces across the country, because we have already established that we want to move forward and we want to structureize across the country. So I'll appreciate commentary on the same. I believe James Muriuki just texted me about the mcoure.vote. I don't know if KOT, you give him an opportunity to speak. I suppose he's going to DM you at the moment, but we can speak to the topic of the day. We can have Milton. Milton, you can speak.
Thank you everyone for the opportunity, and I want to appreciate Honorable Okiya Omtatah, Senator, for being steadfast and showing us the way to stand against the oppressors He's been very consistent, and hats off. And I salute you, Senior, for what you have done and continue to do. And you have indeed demonstrated that power does not change people. Power reveals who they are. Because you have not changed, you have remained the same person that we have always known. Now, as I address myself to the subject of the day, I wanted to say one very important thing before I give my idea of how I think the NCCPA needs to operate and why it is important. Why do we need? What we need is a structure that will empower our people in terms of making sure that there is proper information. People that are well informed would be able to then appreciate and rise up to the occasion when those in leadership are not doing exactly what they are supposed to do. And if you look at the philosophy of the majority of those we have in power today, starting with the head of state, theirs is a philosophy of they are the only people who know. And therefore, if anybody who has a dissenting voice is a fool, is a perpetrator of anarchy, and that is why they are even going ahead to try and make education expensive, because a misinformed citizenry is a disinformed population and therefore easy to manipulate, and the leaders then become beneficiaries of the Stockholm syndrome, like our younger brother Morara was saying. So we need to, as we structure the NCCPA, what we need is we need to have a people who have the zeal and the determination to make sure that the right information reaches the people, and such that the people appreciate the responsibility they have and the power that the Constitution gives them in demanding for better from their leaders. That way, we will have, and I know the term or the phrase I may use may be unpopular, but I want to say that the bottom up idea is that we need to start empowering people from the grassroots so that they have the right information. Once they have the right information, then they will not be manipulated. They will have the confidence to be able to come out and demand that the country is better governed. Now, in terms of the what the I think the Kenyan lady was talking about, yes, the movement may be infiltrated, and therefore we need people who have the fidelity to the cause. But I also want to say that most of the time, movements like this will succeed because of coded language that the members can be able to understand. And I believe that as part of putting together the NCCPA, we will also be developing a code that we can use to communicate whenever we are having these kinds of events and the protests that we have, so that we don't miss out the opportunity, or we do not have a reading of the movement's plans ahead of time. So we need the coded
All
language,
right.
and we also need to mobilize the people by making sure that the information that our people have is the right one, and we can be able to then address
All right.
the
All right.
issues in the land. So I land at that point, and once again, I want to salute everybody that has been resolute to the movement. And as I conclude, I want to pay tribute to all the comrades and the men and women that have paid the ultimate price in demanding for better. And for them, we must make sure that we are never compromised and are luta continua until we get the kind of governance and the kind of leaders that our country deserves for it to achieve its full potential. Thank you and good evening.
Anne Kariuki, you can speak. Anne Kariuki.
Thank you. Thank you once again. And I'm very excited with my friend Senator Okiya for co-hosting this, or I think he was hosting on another space. I wasn't there. I was in church. So thank you once again. It's very important that you keep these spaces, to keep the engagement. It's very important that people become cohesive. I just have one or two things to say. First, you always have traitors. It's time immemorial, even if you read history. So you just have to always have plan B and how to deal with it when it happens. Secondly, anybody who gets arrested should never come back to a leadership position. I'm a lawyer. I've been in that state, as a fighter and also representing people in court at that time, during that era. And there are people there, they are trained interrogators. The idea is to break you. So you will succumb. The ones who get killed are the ones who don't succumb to what they want. So the ones who are released on conditions. That's why they don't talk. That's why they come back changed. A lot of fear. At least with Moi, we knew about the Nyayo underground, where you sleep, with water in the cells and on and so forth. And also the kind of torture they do is both physical and psychological. So the person cannot come back to a leadership position. Something has happened to them. They can stay, but they can't be in a leadership position. So that is one thing you have to watch out for. Another thing is, you're talking a lot about empowerment. I love that. But I think and believe it should be a personal thing, not a group thing. So you really need to have people to own it so that it's you. You realize your destiny is in your hands. Why am I saying this? People will be bought because what this government is doing very much also, like, don't forget, Ruto was YK. Those people who used to wear long jackets and hunt people, I've seen them at night. You had to be rescued because they move at night, and he was one of them. So what I'm saying is that, I think I lost train of thought. So this belief has to be personal. You believe in it. So what they are doing is deliberate. Why is education in disarray? You guys think it's a mistake. I have seen people saying, oh, they have no idea, they are clueless. They are not clueless. This is a well thought out plan to kill education. Ruto intends to be a dictator for life. And as I said before, you've seen them toying with the idea, let's extend the term. He's just looking for numbers and probably will get with the current parliament. I don't know. But what I'm saying, they're killing education because you want to rule over uninformed people. And knowledge is power. They know that is why they don't understand where Gen Z came from. They thought they had killed education. You can see the people they have been producing half baked. So they did to God. What was wrong with the other system? Nothing was wrong. So why are they doing this? They want people who are illiterate, first and foremost. Then you can rule over them. That when he lies is Gen Z who now has been telling people, actually, we have checked that is not true. Because the newspapers were scared, everybody else was scared. Some knew it was lies, but they were too scared, ruling through fear. So education is one way of killing. Secondly, poverty. You see, like Kikomba, they go and set the place on fire. Yeah, that place employs, it creates a lot of employment. If they were interested in enriching, getting out of poverty, what do? They look at the model and see how can we make it better. So if they're employing 1,000 people, they're able to employ 2,000, and then they also generate so much profit, and then we as a country can benefit. So why burn? What does that tell you? So these people have no intention of living, getting people out of poverty or education. What would even
Land. Be finishing up. Be
Yes,
finishing up.
yes. I'm finishing up. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to make those few remarks so that as you plan, some of the things you can take them into account. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And I stand with you guys. Thank you once again. God bless.
Abdul Rama, you can speak next, and then we'll have Mwana Hawa speaking.
Thank you so much. Revolutionary greetings, comrades. I have been fighting from Mombasa and Coast region. I welcome this idea of National Coordination Committee for People's Assembly, a well-structured system where we can coordinate our efforts and engage the people. With an open mind, when you go for public participation and you call for citizens' assembly, especially after rigorous public engagement and civic education, you don't know the outcome. You do not have a predetermined outcome, and you do not know which direction it may lead you. So all we need to do is to have prospects of what they may suggest reforms that might lead to constitutional reforms and changes in the constitution and a number of laws. For example, when it comes to the EACC, Kenyans might say, for example, we need to have the EACC that has prosecutorial powers, that have its own jails, that have its own system of collecting and preserving evidence, and even that might lead us now to embed that in the constitution. Kenyans might also say the size of government is too large, it's bloated. We are running almost the same size as the United States of America, and we represent one state, for example, like Texas, that has that has almost the same size of population. But in terms of GDP and wealth, there are thousands, multiples of ahead of us and all that. So when they recommend that, it might lead to constitutional changes and all that. So what I'm saying is we need to be on standby with in the national discourse that we might employ, so that we're not caught in surprise, because we also ought to have our inputs when the whole national dialogue leads us to that particular direction. That is the first point I wanted to know. Secondly, obviously, we want to come in a coordinated manner. I have realized that when we call for spaces, we are hosting almost 3 or 4 spaces speaking about the same thing. And this is what it tells about infiltration, and a lot has been spoken ever since we started speaking about those people that collaborate with oppressors. It has been told from the time of immemorial, the time of liberating our country, the world war, the world wars that have ever happened, that have ever been fought. There are always spies that were telling their opponents what was happening within and all that. So it should not be our biggest problem, but we ought to, as much as possible, minimize friendly fires and infighting, and our selfish and our personal what we stand to benefit, and stand for the bigger good, the greater good of the country. And this is what it calls for in patriotism. Finally, I want to land by celebrating and saying we have had political leaders that have been with us throughout this particular struggle. We have had unsung heroes, and a majority of you know all of them, that have supported us in one way or another, and they do not fall in our age group and within our age system, but the same things that we fight for, they are close to their heart, and some of them have taken part in the second liberation of our country from one single party rule of KANU into a multi-party system. So let us open our minds to working with experienced. Let us open our minds to working with experienced political leaders that are like-minded. Let us also be open to fielding candidates in the elective positions that are going to come. But I am foreseeing a referendum before we go to the next election. And so I would love us to get united. I don't want to mention names, but obviously we know people like his Honorable Okiya Omtatah, people that through their proven track record of fighting for public interest, litigations, and social justice and promotion of democracy, they stand almost the same thing, like the issues that made us to go to the streets, like the public debt, issues like nepotism and tribalism, lack of meritocracy when it comes to public appointments and all those, so that we are not isolated. We don't want to run an echo chamber where we agree everything. We need also to give room for divergent opinions in this coordination committee for People's Assembly. I believe one of our biggest undoings that we did in our last movement when we agitated for reforms was that we were not open for divergent opinions, and we've learned that. So I want to land by saying this. There's a citizen here by the name James Murioki. He has written on my DM that they have come up with an idea of public participation by use of blockchain. And if it's possible, host and co-host, we also need to welcome him and listen from him on how we can make also public participation to be virtual, especially when it comes to collection of signatures, and when it comes to those that already have their smartphones and all that, how they can be included in the public participation, and also putting their inputs in the they're putting the inputs in the collection of the views that we want to raise. Otherwise, I am so happy. I love my country. I want to be part of this. I want to stand to be counted. I want to bequeath to the generations that will come and tell them that we fought and we brought social justice. We brought our country when it was almost going to the brink of the debt crisis. We are the ones that we stood and we fought for it. So thank you so much, Senator. Thank you so much, Keuti Sonko. Thank you so much, Ayo, Mizani. I've seen you. Anthony, I've seen you. The great work that you've been doing.
Okay, all right,
All
all
this.
right,
Thank you so much.
all right. KOT, I'll give you an opportunity to maybe introduce Nonini and the song, and then afterwards we'll have James Muruki after we have heard from the new release and also how it is. You can talk about it, and then afterwards we'll have James Muruki talk about how we can actually have online voting as we move forward, public participation, etc. KOT Sonko, introduce Nonini and the rest of the team.
Thank you so much, Baraka. And of course, you guys, as we were really waiting for Nonini to release the song, it is a social justice song he has released with Willie Oeba and other two artists. So Ayo is the coordinator, and so I would just like to pass the mic to Ayo to pick up from there.
Thank you so much, KOT. I hope you guys can hear me well, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ayo the Sixth. I'm a film producer, I'm a creator, I'm a director, and I'm also a music video producer. When I was approached with this project with Nonini, I was delighted to take it up and just fly with it. I've always been a fan of our Kenyan our local artists, and I've really been supporting them 100%. I've been fighting for them, and we've seen people like Akina Nonini, go head to head with MCSK, authorities like MCSK and all that kind of stuff. And when I took up this project, I really wanted to serve my nation and just show the nation that we can speak social justice through art, not just going for press conferences, speaking nothing, and the sky makes the night of the day, but we can also use our words to affect people differently out there. One thing I loved about this project is it touched on almost every single life that was lost. Names like Beasley Kamau, names like Rex, the famous Rex that, just lost his life on the streets of Nairobi. And personally, as a journalist, part-time journalist, we've seen what our economy has done to us. I personally lost my job due to the punitive taxes that the government has laid on the various media houses, and they couldn't keep us anymore. They had to let us go. But I didn't give up. I said, when I get the chance to serve my country, I'll do it. And I've been documenting every single step of these protests since they began. I've been documenting every single steps of these protests in Nairobi. I've gotten clips from Kisumu. I've gotten clips from Mombasa, in Nakuru, and so on and so forth, even in from the Rift Valley. And if you're going to watch this video, I want it to touch you in a different way. When I sat down to edit this video, when I sat down to shoot these clips, I had one vision in mind. I wanted to tell a story that nobody else will ever tell. I don't want CNN to come and tell our stories. I don't want Fox News to come and tell our stories because they know we are a shithole country. But for us, we see our country from a whole new different lens. And that's why I took up this project, and I was like, my G, we're going to work on this project together, step by step. And we've been on and off on phone calls at 1 a.m., at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m. Literally, I have not been sleeping for the past week, just working and looking for footages to just supplement and tell this story. So every footage that was placed on this music video, every single lyric that these artists put on this this video or this song speaks volumes, and it's gonna speak volume for the rest of our lives until kingdom come. So I want to bring up Nonini. Later, I'll bring Willie Eba. I hope Smalls will come in later. But this song, if it doesn't touch you, I don't know what else will touch you, because these amazing artists, they've written a masterpiece that will remain as a national, it will remain as our anthem forever and ever. So I want to bring in Nonini. Nonini, please just open the mic and just tell us what you're going through, what is going through in your mind as you pen down that chorus, as you pen down that verse. Tell us what was going through your mind. Even later on, we'll play the song, and you guys, we have the link on the Jumbotron. Make sure that you go subscribe and share that link as much as you can. We need 1 million views on this music video by the end of the week. So, Mnonini, please pick up the mic and talk to us. Mnonini, are you there? If Mnonini is not ready, probably we'll go to Willie. Willie, unaweza nisikia? Willie?
Willie? The song actually just went live this very, very minute that we are speaking.
Ayo,
Speak to me.
can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, my name is Willie Oeba. I'm a spoken word artist. I do poetry for social change. I've been doing poetry for social change since 2017. I have 3 albums. The one in it was Easy, Dear God, and Mungu Anasaidia. I released it last year, and all of them are pieces on social justice. Yeah. So I didn't get your question. I think it was directed to Nonini.
I think Nonini is going to come back. Probably has network issues. Can you hear me now, Willie?
I can see you.
Nonini is back.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Very nice. Nonini, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Unanipata?
Nakupata vizuri sana. Did you hear me as I was introducing you?
Yes, I did. I was trying to speak, but I don't think you could hear me.
Okay, now go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting us on this space, KOT, IO, and also Honorable Okiya. Willie Manze Karibu. I hope Smalls Lethal is going to be here. Ni important sana ni seme why we did this song. This song is not actually mine. This song is for an artist in Kenya, a great artist who does revolutionary music, and it was Smalls Lethal. So he did a song a couple of years back called Offended. Na Offended yake, even before Mandamano, he was speaking about Governor wa Kisii and all the corruption that was happening in Kisii. But the song never got really amplified. But he started speaking about these things way back in the day. But then he's been always telling me, like, we need to do a song, we need to do a song. And I always feel like collaborations, you don't force them. Sometimes the universe gets things aligned for you to do a song. So it happened just when mandamanos were happening and we were here just trying to support all the Gen Z. He came back to my inbox and he was like, yo, Nons, ile ngoma, can we do it? Nikamwambia, bro, this is the right time. Niko kwa hii certain feeling. I mean, I'm on this emotion and it's the best time to write this kind of a song. And we did it. We did Offended too. And at the same time, happening parallel, Willie was also here in Nairobi and Kenya just doing civic education. Willie alikuwa anazunguka kwa mama 3, he's doing all his spoken word, brilliant guy, man. And I spoke to Willie and I told him to jump on the song. Funny enough, it's funny to hear, it's not funny, it's very exceptional to hear spoken word on a track with music, because spoken word inakuwaga more lyrics. So yeah, when I was penning down the song, I was just in that space because I was offended, because I was watching sitting on kutoka hapa diaspora, and I was seeing everything that is happening in our country, man. Music industry has been in shambles for years, and it's all because of structures. When you're in a country that structures work, you can see how your country is not working. It really pains. And the fact that kids were killed in the street and were shot down, man, I decided that let me write a song that is gonna capture the names of all these comrades, all these young people, because music is powerful. Music is we use music as our archives. We use music to store our history. That's how we do it. So that chorus was very personal. It came from a very personal place. And there are a lot of artists in Kenya who write this kind of music. Not to take away from that, kuna kina Kalamashaka, they started this struggle way back in the day. Kuna the great Kitusua, they've been doing revolutionary music, but this music never gets the time of day, or people don't like playing this kind of music. I hope that we're going to share this link, we're going to amplify it so that it reaches out to everyone. Radio might not want to play it because it speaks about the real fact, what's going on ground, but that doesn't matter. We have our voices, we have the spaces, we have all these things that we keep sharing, and we're creating our own. We are creating our own disruption. So I'm going to let Willie come in and also speak how he got into the project and what he feels about it. The project has gone live. Once you watch it, come share a comment, share the link on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, and just let us know what do you feel about it. Thank you, Sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nonini. I will even play the song. KOT will play the song so that everybody, all the 430 of us, get to listen to it live on this space. So I've also called Smalls. He said he's going to come in. He's just fixing a few issues. He's going to come in. Willie, I'm on you. Talk to us, please.
Wow, great. I do poetry, and so many people know me with spoken word, but I also rap. So when Nonini hit me up for this project, actually, I've been watching Nonini for the longest time. Since I knew music for the longest time, and he's one of the people I really respect. So when I went to the studio, I went with a rap verse, and Smalls akaniambia, no, do poetry. We want you to do poetry. So I had to like write a poetic verse there and then. And I, as I shared yesterday, I was almost shot in 2017 for mistaking identity back in Nakuru, because I have dreadlocks, and it was a case of stereotype. And they were looking for someone who looked like me. And that time they were stereotyping everyone else who has dreadlocks. So case of police brutality. And just before then, before 2017, because I started doing poetry actively in 2014, I was doing pieces on love. Not that love is bad, but I realized that people like these issues happen on a daily. So when I was almost shot, I went and texted Boniface Mwangi on Twitter, but he saw it way later. And it came to me that these issues happen on a daily, and if I don't use my voice to speak life into these issues, then this is how youths are treated in Nakuru and Nairobi and everywhere. So when this issue came in, and Nonini hit me up to write this verse, so it is something that I have been doing. I have been doing for a long time. And even though I wrote that verse while I was at the studio, I had it in me. So when Smalls did I'm Offended 1 in 2020, I had just released a piece in it, Dear Mr. President, October 3rd. Smalls ali released I'm Offended 1 October 5th in 2020. And I was in a WhatsApp group, and COVID had just hit, and we were tweeting, and he was arrested by the then governor wa Kisii. And one pal of mine anaitwa Shanki akasema, tulikuwa tuna tweet about the piece Dear Mr. President, akasema kuna msi anaitwa Small Slithol amefanya piece inaitwa I'm Offended na ameshikwa. So we started amplifying I'm Offended, and then it NTV wakaipata, he was featured on NTV and he was released then. So that is how I came to like personally interact with Smalls. And I want to shout out Nonini for bringing us together, Ayo for putting the video together. I know it's not an easy feat, and I want to thank you all for taking art serious as a tool for social change. When we started, people said we were cloud chasing. People called us controversial. We went to gigs whereby people prayed. We performed, then people pray so that the actual performance started. And shout out to people like Nons and people like Kina Eric Wanaina, because it has not started with us, and we are literally standing on the shoulders of giants. So personally, I'm offended because of the funding model. I'm offended because of the healthcare. I'm offended because of the contempt of the rule of law. And music, art, poetry is used to document, inspire, comfort the disturbed, comfort the disturbed, and disturb the comfort, the comfortable. And I think this is our submission, and this is our little contribution to the movement. And I urge everyone here, let us use our small spaces. Let us use everything we have to amplify, to document, and to revolutionize the mindset. Right now, I'm very happy because the collective conscience of the nation has been pricked, and Kenya will never be the same again. As Tupac says, for me, the idea is not to change the world, but to spark the mind that will change the world, because true leadership is in delegation. Let's get it.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm here to address you. Mr. Speaker, we don't fear you. Superdaddy, we stomped inside. Condolences to the families and friends of all the Gen Z we lost 2024. Our freedom fighters, our heroes. I'm offended. Little. I'm more than offended, bro. I'm disgusted. Aje sasa. Yeah, skiza. Ini more than just music. Ini chant, ni class power booze. Yeah, ini more than just music. Ini chant, ni class power booze. Ini more than just music. Ini chant, tunakaa sawa puzi. Leo wanatuona tuliwavotia tu juzi. Saini ya ibu gani? Na mkipiga magoti nyuomba Mungu mgani? Na under your watch mmeua watu wangapi? Kennedy Onyango 12 years Rongai. Denzel Omondi mlimchukulia uhai. Hapa ni wapi? Maumbo walai. Austin Makoha, Christian Gitonga, Joshua Mbadi na Wilson Sitati. Bado tunawapenda, kuna siku hatua hati. Wares wetu, heroines wetu, Caroline Shiramba na Valentine Jerry. Hata surrender, bado mapambano daily. Mbithi Scott, Clinton Mavali. Usiku kucha tuko macho hatulale. Kevin Madanga, Emmanuel Tata, Lema Yenka Saine, Matthew Njoroge, Kelvin Mawasi na Kennedy Njeru. Tawakumbuka diaspora mpaka Ujeru. Eric Iratu, Ibrahim Wanjiru, Kennedy Maina na Erickson Kialo, Eric Kayoni na David Chege, Beasley Kogi, Mikey Hunga, chenye mlifanya mikono tunawaunga. Fegi tuliwasha hadi filter wanakula, Tiagas walitupa kama shisha tulivuta. Rex Masai mweke picha kwa manguo, fundishe history makambo mpaka na machuo. How kids, women and many haven't mentioned were killed in 2024 fighting for the nation. Yeah, ini more than just music, ini chant, ni class kwa wapuze. Yeah, ini more than just music, ini chant, ni class kwa wapuze. Tumetoka kusikia hiyo story ya mlima, mara mumeshika na mrembe mzima. Wasomi viongozi wamegeuka wakabila, nchi yetu literally wametupa ndani ya pipa. Opposition walidandia vipi, amupete vitano wakajigawia viti. Wananchi ndo walishikwa wakalala ndani ya jela, wengine wakapigwa marisasi wakakenya. Damn, president bila emotions, na kila Sunday namuona kwa devotions. Na huyo Mungu ndo atakupiga viboko, wazazi wetu wakikulia mikopo. Wajui state of our roads wanatumia machopa, 1 million wanabaia maboxa. Imagine budget paka ofisi ya Dokas, ndo mtueleze hiyo ndiyo kuokoka. Amnataka kuza airport kwa Dan bana, na hiyo deal tunaielewa kwa undani sana. Na hiyo kitu umepea Joe, hiyo ni hatari sana. Na umekimya tukiwao, hapana bana. Wengi ni taxi mewakost makaria, wanabiashara wakaenda loss wakalia. Nyinyi mnadhani tunafaa kuimport kadamia ndani ya cage kimawazo kama tuale na ngamia. Ini more than just music, ini chant, ni class kwa wapuze. Yeah, ini more than just music, ini chant, ni class kwa wapuze. Kwani we ni leader wa nani? Nyumbani kwako we hautujali. Badala ya ajira nyumbani, mayouth wanatumwa kwa nchi za mbali. Tunahitaji manpower home, tubadilishe kila mitaa hapa home. Hata mimi nadai better education, proper medication, walimu na pesa, mavipitisi. In times unajua, ikituuma ni lazima tuiseme. Na hakuna kugonga mo, wananchi wamekaa mkuu wa tuja tenzi. Ndio times unajua, ikituuma ni lazima tuiseme. Na hakuna kugonga mo, wananchi wamekaa mkuu wa tuja. Britain siko so open, crocodile tears inahitaji intervention ya kitunguu. Vitu kikwa life shapoteza meaning, pombe inatumika kutoa lock. Jumulishapoteza kifunguu, I'm offended. Youth uko depressed, una kazi na serikali inapea kazi wenye wanafaa wao retirement. Mbona una tense na hata mood ya worry? Hakuna hata pesa ya kulipwa peanuts. Hizi kila mtu anauza njugu. Si wenzetu wakati wa kura ndio nakumbuka kutuita mandugu. Serikali ingekuwa inajali what we say, Parliament ingekuwa na headphones na sio speaker. Mchana wanalala bunge na usiku wanataka night allowance. Hatred ni more, love ni rare. Wakristo ndio wako na chuki sana. Ironically, some of their favorite verses iko in the book of Romans. Truth iko na arrogance. RIP our fallen comrades. Kenya of life's importance. Let's teach our girls. Squeeze wengine wanatumia miadarati ndio wawe women of substance. I'm offended. We have a long way to go as a country na sio distance. Wafungwa bado wanaibia watu wakiwa kwa jela, propaganda ndio ina sell. Hapo State House wasikudanganye na deeds, hawataki kwenda heaven, wanaogopa kwenda hell. Wasikudanganye na words, body language can tell. Misplaced priorities. Hakuna maji kwa mifereji na masaa ya kura, wako busy kutap talent. Waliahidi stadium lakini kwa ground vitu ni different. Nakuru, Kihika, Naiba na Samburu. Aliyeta governor ako loyal to Adani, money trees wako majani. Promises ni mingi lakini manifesto zao ni kama Katiba. Zote zinasema vitu zenye hakuna. I'm offended. Zakayo ateme jaba bana, tumechoka mazini. Zakayo washuke.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the song. So back to you, Ayo and Okiya.
Thank you so much, Willie. Again, thank you so much, Nonini. Thank you so much, Smalls in absentia. For everyone, the producer, the audio producer who came up with the beat and just did the mastering. Thank you so much, guys, for honoring me, giving me the honor to work on the video. And guys, please, let's push this video. Nataka hawa washenzi wasikie hii video, because we are here because of them. Kama atungetoa hiyo video kama we had good governance. So let's not forget that. Unasikianga wasanii ni kioo cha jamii. Now this is the thing. even our artists wanakuwa overtaxed, MCSK, our Lipi, and the art pia ni job, man. We need to understand that. We need to appreciate our artists enough so that wajue job wana do, the intellectual property is respected. So that's why I decided to sit at the forefront and said, I'm going to work on this video. I'll be humbled enough if that video hits more than 1 million views. We have 47 million of us in this country. Let's get that video to 50 million views in 2 weeks or something. Let's make let's amplify the voices of these artists. If you heard every stanza, every line of that song, every verse of that song, even the spoken word part, it spoke much about whatever we are going through as a country. And this is not about tribalism. When we are getting it tough, we are getting it all tough in equal measure. So to start about tribalism for a moment, let's forget about the social classes for a moment, and let's support our artists, and let's speak to the government through that song. I don't know if there's any other artist who've paid tribute to and spoken about what we are going through as a country, but they came up and amplified their voices for the same. So thank you so much, Nonini. Thank you so much, Willie, and the other, and Smalls, and the other artists. And let's keep on injecting wherever we are. Willie, thank you so much for what you've been doing in our matatus, and we'll keep on supporting you. We'll keep on protecting you guys, you know. And if you're an artist out there, if you are an artist, I mean, you could be a visual artist, you could be a spoken word artist, you could be just a singer somewhere, you could be a creative arts artist, a director, a producer. Let's come out and speak for our country through our art.
Okay.
Baraka,
Thank you. Yeah.
Baraka, we celebrate our artists, and thank you so much for the good break and the good voice. So I was suggesting we give Sefu Sani to reset the space now into National Coordination Committee.
Yes. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah, so that
That's what I was going to do.
yeah, so that as we move forward, we able to identify key players that are differently positioned strategically to identify the 13 issues. If she can reset and read for those that are not come, so that we focus on that in our coordination for public engagement into people's assembly, so that all of us, because I realize some of the speakers as they are speaking, they are way outside the context for the reason why this space was held. And it's okay, it's all fine. We all have a share to do for our country, and actually everyone has a voice and all that. But I'm suggesting that we have the specific about coordinating the People's Assembly and public engagement and towards probably reforms that we might need to see in the 13 issues that are being raised. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. So Sefu Sani, if you can hear me, kindly accept the co-host and proceed from where we had left from. Thank you.
Comrades, I don't.
Sefu, we can't hear you. Or am I the only person who can't hear Sefu?
For the rest of you, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Now you can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, comrades. Today we've had a lot of technical hitches in coming up with this space, but we are glad that we've been able to consolidate our efforts and that we are here. The launch of the social justice song is amazing, and kudos to the people who've done the song. We're going to listen to Offended. And even as Nonini said, we have a lot of artists out here. We have the social justice traveling theater that has been doing conscious theater to showcase issues of social justice to the people. We have singers who sing on social issues, just like myself. And we've been doing it for a very long time, and we continue to do it. So even as we have this song, let us not forget all the others. And speaking out on the ills in our country and what it is that we actually want. And that being said, comrades, the meeting is dubbed the National Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly. And I will just sensitize us now that because of the technical hitches, Kasmuel Kaskazini also had another link, and there are people there, but in future we will consolidate all our efforts so that we are able to direct our efforts together. The Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly works to be able to bring the voices from the ground up and to speak about the social oppression and economic exploitation that is going on in the country. It was formed after the mandamus we've been having since the 18th of June, and we are consolidating everybody's efforts for us to be able to galvanize them and send them to the people who are not the people who are not running this country well, and of course that is the government and the president and the other leaders. So all of us here are welcome to join, for the artists, for every other group, so that we can consolidate our efforts. And so far we have about 60 different organizations that have come in. We call up for more so that we have a central voice as the people of Kenya when we are fighting for our rights. And today we were speaking about the total shutdown on Katiba Day. Katiba Day is the 27th of August of every year. And of course, this marked a milestone in our country whereby we got the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. Has it been implemented? Are there gross violations of the Constitution? We are coming out to speak. And as such, we have 13 reasons why Ruto must go now. And of course, we have many other infinite reasons, but these 13, we've been able to come up with them. We have documents, leaflets that can be passed on. We'll be able to share. Number one is extrajudicial killings and the mass murder of Kenyans. Number two is on the debt crisis that we have. Number three is the unemployment crisis. Number four is violation of the Constitution. Number five is subversion of state institutions. Number six is disregard for the people's voice. Number seven is puppet of foreign powers. Number eight is corruption and looting. Number nine is destruction of democracy. Number 10 is auctioning national assets. Number 11 is destroying healthcare and education. Number 12 is tribalism and cronyism. And number 13 is selling our land and our natural resources. These are the 13 reasons we are giving on why Ruto must go now. And we also have a charter saying tunakata, tumekata. Na tunakata, we say no, to all these social ills that are happening in our country. We say no to bad governance. We say no to gross violations of the Constitution. We say no to extrajudicial killings and the mass murder of Kenyans. So on this day, we are calling out for all Kenyans to come to the streets. We meet in CBD for those who are in Nairobi and in different areas of this country for us to say that tunakata and to give our 13 reasons why we are saying Ruto must go now. So we are inviting us to be able to come together, even as we do it through music, through theater, through murals that we have seen. So these are the 13 reasons why we are saying Ruto must go now. And on this day, it's very important because we know that even a lot of our comrades have been murdered, as we have talked about that. A lot of them have been maimed. Others have been abducted from their homes. There's been illegal detentions. So I invite you now to come and speak on our constitution, its violations, and why we are refusing, but also to call you to the street so that we can be able to galvanize this together. And I think I will give, I've seen several people who have requested for the mic. Afrocentric, kindly take at least 2 minutes so that we have other people come in. So we'll have Afrocentric, we will have Baraka, we will have Anthony in that order. Afrocentric, karibu.
Maybe I can defer my slot to James Muriuki after Afrocentric. I don't know if Afrocentric can hear, but I can't hear. If he's speaking, I can't hear. But I'm deferring my spot to James.
All right, we can have James come. That's okay. Afrocentric, I can't hear you, so maybe we'll have Anthony and then James.
Thank you, Sefu. Thank you, KOT and Senator Okiya for hosting this space. I'll actually do the same. I would want James to go before because there's something he has been working on that people really need to hear about. So James Morioki can go before me. Then we talk after him.
James Morioki, due to public demand.
Hello guys. Thanks to the hosts. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so I'll just jump straight into it. This comes from an angle of solutions. So we came up with a blockchain voting system. The application is already ready. We've actually been testing it for the last 2 weeks. So if anyone would like to test it, you can just hit my DM. I'll give you the test link. Ideally, it's a real-time voting platform where the votes cannot be manipulated by anyone, and it tallies in real time. So as people are voting, you can see the results. This application has multiple uses, so don't think we are limited to elections in 2027. For example, in the National Coordination Committee of People's Assembly, we can set up different issues to see people's opinions. For example, you can ask them, do you want a referendum? And the Kenyans themselves will decide, and everyone will be able to see the decisions being made in real time. It actually goes beyond that in that it's also a public participation platform. So we can post bills there and get people's opinions. In addition to the platform, we were like, how will we go around the whole country and introduce people to the platform and let them interact with it? One, I'd like to say, if you're in any institution, a university or a school, and you're having an election, you can reach out and we will set up the election for you for free so that guys can interact with the platform. Two, I think even Anthony will speak about it a bit more. We have designed an entire tournament that will go around the 47 counties of the country. It's going to be a 48-week program. So it would be nice if we all joined efforts so that this caravan that's going around the whole country carrying the app can also carry the People's Assembly, so we can have the People's Assembly done in every single county. I'd be willing to take any questions, if any, but the application is ready and it offers solution even for opinion polls. You know, what we are aiming at is to harness our numbers, but how can we show the government or how can we show the people where our numbers are? So if we all on board on the platform, then we can have a bigger and stronger voice because we can be like, hey, here are 10 million Kenyans and all these 10 million Kenyans have made this decision. So I'd like to land by saying the platform is not mine. The platform is not owned by anyone. Everyone who joins becomes an owner. So it's purely blockchain. It's open source, so you can see the code. You just can't manipulate it anyhowly. And we invite anyone who wants to test it for weaknesses, feel free to try and hack us. It will actually be very nice for us. Thank you, guys.
James, I have something quick to ask.
Well, thank you very much, James Morioki, for that. I think that is a good initiative. I don't know who had a question.
Myself, Abdul.
Abdul Rahman.
Thank you.
Okay.
James, I'm asking in line with our objective of reaching people massively. for civic education and also as a virtual town hall to host the people's assembly in terms of ease of users and when people are not voting, they just want to have inputs where they can have their participation virtually, some sort of a town hall. How easy it is, and have you thought about devolving it to the lowest level to 190 and to the lowest level in our country?
Well, the beauty about what we've designed, it's like a railway. Anything can pass on top of it. So, for example, if you want to have an election just for the people on this space, we can set it up immediately on the spot. If you want to have a discussion of a specific word in the country, we can set that up on the spot. So it has different levels of the wards, constituencies, the counties, the national level, and it also has, we are calling them spaces. So even if it's an institution, let's say University of Nairobi wants to do election, we can set up a space for them and ensure only the people with University of Nairobi IDs can access that space. So it's like plasticine. It's very malleable. Like we can create any space. Ata if, let's say, the People's Assembly is in Mombasa and you want, when the People's Assembly is going on, you want them to vote on an issue, like for example, the 13 points, how do you want to arrange them? Which one is the most important point? Which one do we do first? Even in matters of going on the street, if people were to decide on a date, you can put all the dates that have been suggested there and people choose the one they want. In terms of user friendliness, right now, because we are doing a lot of back testing, the onboarding process is a bit long. You have to download 2 apps, but by this week we'll be done consolidating that into one. We are also making it, there's also a way that we are incorporating our wallet into it. So the possibilities of the app are actually limitless. We are looking at expanding it also to incorporate procurement so that things can be done on the app and clear for everyone and anyone to see from anywhere. So it's quite interesting.
James,
Thank you so much.
You can DM Sefu. Sefu, make sure that you talk to him and organize a meeting with the team so that this can actually be implemented and maybe refined.
Yes, we've had that, and I have taken. I've had that, and I have taken down. We've taken it down. I've reached out to James, and we should be able to have a meeting. And of course, if there are any other questions, maybe about the project, James, it will be directed to you directly from the people, so that now we can continue with the conversation on Katiba. Although what I'm saying is that it's a very great initiative, and we look forward, to working together to trying it out. We have listened. Yeah. So now on our Katiba Day and the gross violations and the 13 reasons why Ruto must go, but also the total shutdown, where we are calling all of us to be able to come out on the 27th, for us to be able to speak out. Anthony, I will give you the mic, and then we can have Redemptor, and then Social Democrat. Kindly take 2 minutes each.
Thank you, Sefu. With the interest of time, I'll just go direct to my submission. A while back, we started, after the Mandamano, me and a few other people thought we should come up with a structure. So James is one of them. Abdul Karim was there. I reached out to several people, KOT, Afrocentric, and we ended up with a Telegram group that today is over 1,000 members strong, though that number keeps on shifting, but it's stably at 1,000 members. And what we did in that space, we came up with structures that were so decentralized up to the constituency levels. So we have a group for Kasarani, Nairobi, Kirinyaga, Mombasa, everything. Then we break it down further to professions. And that's where you find we have apps like what James is doing. We have people in diaspora who will really help us in terms of structuring our constitution or a working document that captured what people were talking, similar to what you've just read today. And I'm very, very happy, Seth, to tell you that a majority of what you read is actually what we captured. The only one thing that I think I didn't get on your 13 issues was employment for the young people, because that is one thing that has really worked against us during this time. We had so many people who are employed now becoming unemployed, and we have a huge and a growing number of unemployed people. So yes, we would be very happy to have a sit down, and we bring all these things together and move forward. And to finish, I was very happy when Nonini said that him and a group of artists, people who do spoken word, he does music, producers, and everything came together and they produced the song that they have done today. And that goes ahead to show us the power of coming together. Nonini, I grew up listening to him. Me, I'm a child born in 1985. So I grew up listening to Nonini. So when you join people across age brackets, like what we are doing today, we have Okiya here, who's a much older generation. We are able to leverage on age, wisdom, experiences, and expertise. And most importantly, we are able to harness the potential of the youth in this country, who really form the backbone of this country in terms of everything, from education to employment to the future of this country. I look forward to working with you and all the like-minded Kenyans in making this movement and what we are fighting for succeed in every way possible. And it will be such a good thing, because I kept on asking as I learned, what will go through Mama Rex's head if we just give up for nothing? And today I will sleep a very happy person, because all the names Nonini has mentioned will be vindicated. We will say we fought the battle and we got the victory. So thank you very much. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to telling all my members on Telegram to switch to whatever platform you tell me. Thank you, and let's keep engaged.
Thank you so much, Anthony Marioki. That is amazing. And you can just reach out to me. Yesterday, we had a conversation with Baraka as well from the X Space and Lavani. So I'm very happy that we're coming together. You can reach out and we can plan, our meeting also, James Morioki, and of course, consolidate our efforts so that we are able to do this together. Yes, and Anthony, I just wanted to also let you know, number 3 of the 13 reasons speaks about the unemployment crisis. Joblessness is skyrocketing as Ruto's policies destroy our economies, factories are losing, businesses are shutting down, and our youth have no future. How much more suffering will we endure? That is number 3 on the 13 reasons, which is the unemployment crisis. So I think you were able to capture it. And now, Redemptor, 2 minutes, and then social demo, 2 minutes.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for all the challenges that you went through initially, so it had us conflicted. Where do we go? I chose this space because I honor the people I see on this world, because they have been hosting spaces, and my senior and comrade Okiya Omtatah, thank you for your service to this country. And KOT, you always give me the mic. I'll keep it brief and say that as a writer, as an activist and an artist, I was attracted to this space because Nonini had been joining the spaces hosted by KOT from the very beginning. And we had a lot of pre-protest artists who came out and wrote songs, and that music just disappeared in some holes. And now we see the very first post-protest song, the artwork that has been done from a very deep place, a place of pain, anger, and just memorializing those victims with dignity. As a writer, we always have an introduction and a conclusion of a story. And the introduction of this story and this revolution was the young people, and they paid a very heavy price. But in that process, they have decided they'll also be the main story, and there will be the conclusion. And sometimes they have shut me down for saying that. The truth is, when you are in an emergency situation, the person who rescues the person from the accident might not necessarily be the surgeon that attends to the person. And that is a reality we have to come to. In terms of mobilizing online, I feel like we have, like I said, in storytelling, we have the why, the who, the how, the when, and the what if. And the what if of this is What if he doesn't go? Because we've been saying Ruto must go. And I say this not because I'm a pessimist, but because you also assume that he's not organizing. So my word to that is there has to be a vetting place where everybody who comes and says we, you have to ask yourself, who are you in the we? Are you part of the movement, or are you here to distract the movement? Some of the inventors that I've seen, like the blockchain, sounds like a brilliant idea. These are inventors, and sometimes inventors will attract different investors. So the very people we are trying to remove are also working overtime. So mine would be like a little discretion, in the sense that when the movement was started by the young people, they had one advantage. We were not looking at what they were doing. We didn't care about X spaces. Now the government is all over spaces. So there has to be an element of discretion with the planning and the movement online. It happened and it was successful, but there's now need to change strategy, because now people of my age are interested, and some are coming to harvest where they did not plant. The other thing I am against, and I have said this again and annoyed the young people, is when you say we will not allow politicians. How are you going to deliver this baby if the midwife has to be a politician? So just blanketing the people and then ageism and building a new cluster of millennials and Gen Zs are the only people who are eligible to lead this country. Some of those things are the things that I'm against. It has to take a process of discernment to know who are the freedom fighters and who are the oppressors. And that's a gift, that you can listen to people in conversations and be able to pick them out. I host spaces, I've been monitoring spaces, and the mood of these spaces were the young people were speaking. Now they've gone into their holes, and I'm cognizant of the fact some of them are recovering from survivor's guilt. When you go out to fight in war and some don't come home, that is a very heavy burden. So it's again to acknowledge the young people of this country. We owe you flowers. We say we are sorry about the hurt that has been caused on you as we watched without helping. But in terms of regrouping and restructuring, there has to be wisdom and there has to be discernment. So I wish all the people who are in the front line the best in delivering this revolution and giving us our freedom, because we are oppressed. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Redemptor, for that. I don't know whether, Baraka, you had given your slot, so I don't know whether you still want to speak or you.
I believe we can let the rest of the team speak. Not the rest of the team. More people speaking up and
right.
Commenting on the same.
All right. So social demo. I don't know. I can't see the full name. Social demo.
Democrats.
Kindly, you can come in for 2 minutes, and then we'll have Kenyans and then Afrocentric.
Yeah, mine will be very brief, and thanks so much, Saifu. I think we were with you in the other space that collapsed. For me, I appreciate the energy and the vigor that we are all coming up with. I think before that space actually collapsed, I was just addressing the issue of oneness, and it is actually part of the main agenda, main theme here, because now having a national coordination committee would mean that we have a proper communication channel and we are addressing issues to the right people back on the ground. One thing I wanted to maybe to bring on board is we have so many organizations that are now being formed, and people are organizing themselves here and there. Maybe I would request if there is any way that these organizations can be able to push their agenda within one central system, because as JM has come up with that system of communication, blockchain, I know of a team also working on a system, a website for on holding the government corruption cases and updating Kenyans on the corruption cases on different projects here and there. So maybe I'll request if there is any way that maybe then moving forward, now that we have the National Coordination Committee on board, we can be able to have one central way in which some of these things can be done collectively to be able to address the real issues that are currently affecting our governance space. Thank you so much. I love the spirit. I think when we move like this, now that we are crossing over to have a good structural system of networking and pushing agenda, we are soon going very far. And let's come out on 27th for the Katiba Day and call out this rogue political class. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Comrades, we don't have so much time, so kindly, when you get the mic, be very brief so that we can speak and finish. I would like to request that we have 20 more minutes on this space, and then we can close it down and meet on the 27th. For those who are reaching out and asking for information to be sent, I think I will reach out to you, or you can send me your contacts on inbox so that we can agree on how to meet or how to send this information, etc. Afrocentric, you're not able to unmute your mic, so we'll have Engineer David kindly say something for 2 minutes, and then Gibigi, and then Kenyans.
Okay. To the host, the co-host, fellow speakers, and the listeners, our audience, allow me to salute you. Good evening. I have a few words to say today, since we were all in the other space that collapsed on just 1 hour ago, and I would like to say the following things. This regime, so-called Kenya Kwanza government, it has really desolated Kenyans. I feel wretched, by the way, sincerely speaking, I feel wretched. This government has failed Kenyans in so many reasons. The level of corruption in Kenya is very high. There's again another risk of unemployment. Most people are not employed. There's evidence of poor governance. We have another one so-called integrity and accountability. Our leaders are not they don't appear to those leadership roles. And on corruption, guys, I would like to say the following. Since Senator Okiya Omtatah is here, allow me to suggest the following. We have the last time we had space, if you remember, there's something I talked about. We have the National Assembly, so the so-called the National Assembly, or leave alone the Senate section. I'm talking about the Parliament. So the Parliament has 349 members, of which I don't think it is possible for the Parliament to have that huge number of people being constituted in it. I think the government structure, the Parliament structure, it has to be restructured again. 290 members of Parliament. We have 47 people representing each and every county in the National Assembly. Then we have 12 people representing people with different classes. Senator Okiya Omtatah, I would like you to that next time when you go to Senate, I would like you to pass a bill or launch a bill suggesting I would like that number to reduce such a way that the number of people representing us from the counties should be reduced. I don't think the representatives should come from each and every county. I suggest, what do I suggest? I suggest that each region to have its own representative, such that we only have 6 or 7 people representing us from the different regions. We have those from coast, those from north. We have northeastern province, coast region. We have central region, Mount Kenya region. We have Rift Valley. We have Nyanza, and we have Western. So those 7 people are enough to represent Kenyans. Not all those 47. Those 47, that other amount that has been that we are talking about is being given to them. That money should be kept to pay these teachers who are striking. that they want their pay to be raised up.
Engineer, sorry to cut you short, but kindly wrap up because we don't have much time and other people are yet to speak.
Okay. Let me finish up. So I would like to say the following: that the parliament has to be restructured and its membership should be cut down. That membership number is very high. It should be cut down. Lastly speaking, I'm an engineer, just as you say, Madam Sefu, and I'm a contractor. If you are in Nairobi, kindly follow my handle and my page for more information concerning construction. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer. Kindly, we don't have much time. Kenyans, 2 minutes. Katiba shutdown, 27th. And then Gibigi, 2 minutes.
Mnanisikia?
Yeah,
Tunanisikia?
Tunakusikia.
Okay. Good evening everyone. It's another time tumetapatana. And this time nataka tuseme, unajua kila mtu anauliza what's the way forward or which the way forward, kila mtu. Okay, actually what we have here is an opportunity for majuth wengi sana. Shida yetu ni kutafutia majuth jobs, ndio most of our problems hii. So ukiangalia fee structure hata tuongelee kwanza, hata hiyo hatutaki hata kuongelea, wacha tuongelee ya create hata job. Hizi spaces tuna have, the best way to defend is attack. Na for the sake of mzaeji wako hapa Okiya Omtatah, from right now kitu yenye tunafaa ku address now si as senator, cause words I believe words gonna power. Tunafaa ku address kama our president right now venye tunaongea hivi from starting today, like we create that army for the, because that hatuwezi enda a fight without even hata hatuna army. Umeona sasa tuko na space huko Kasmuel ako na ingine huko, we are still very divided. We should start by the army. Na army niliambia KOT from the first day, nilimwambianga we still focus, ni kufocus, hakuna kutingika. So we should start by creating. Actually nani alitengenezanga ile ya Hanifa ile mchanga, ilikuwa sio mchanga. We should start by actually mzae unafaa ukishughulikia sahi chama yetu, because wamekataa kuturegister. Unafaa kuwa your first priority ni kuchukua chama kwanza. Tuko na chama actually sahi, tuko divided because we don't have a way. Tunafaa kuwa na chama kama mzae, the like Okiya wewe ndio unafaa kutupatia chama, then we can have from the grassroots. Kitu yote kitokea tunaweza kama UDA, kwani UDA walianzana ule sijui alikuwa anaitwa Kawanjiko something like that. Before hata tuende popote, we should have that army. Sasa hatuna army, consolidate that army. KOT kitu yenye tunafaa kuwa nayo, it's like to create job opportunity, because kuna wase wako majuu wako na do ya kufanya. Hanifa tuli raise money, sasa tunaweza raise money through the same way, na tuandike tuko na secretary, tuko like achama, you get what I mean, ikue like tuko na army. Yeah, that's my submission for today. At least tutakuwa na a way forward. Yeah.
Asante sana Kenyans kwa hiyo submission. Reason yenye tuko na hii National Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly is for all of us who are on the streets, who care about our nation, for us to be able to come together and have an overhaul. Tuko na change ya system, na hii change ya government, ndio maana tuko na hii National Coordination for People's Assembly. Na tuna invite watu wote, organizations zote, tufanye nini tuweze kufanya kazi pamoja. Ndio leo kulikuwa na hiyo space ya kasmuel na pia hii. Na we are consolidating all of this so that later we are all able to come and meet together. About a secretariat, like in this team, we have a secretariat, we have a way of things working. And that is why even through these X spaces, we are calling on all of us to come together under this for a grand coalition so that sisi wote tuweze kufanya nini? Kukuwe na voice moja. Kama sahi tunasema 13 reasons why Ruto must go. Umeongelea unemployment, hiyo ni number 3. Tunaongelea violation of the constitution, number 4. Subversion of state institutions, na tumezimention extrajudicial killings and mass murders of Kenyans. Na tunaita sisi wote hiyo 27 kukuwa na hii shutdown. And I can see one of the members from the secretariat is here, Muthiora Kariara. I'll just invite you to say something before Gibigi.
Well, thank you, Sefu, for the opportunity and the amazing work that you're doing here. We were here yesterday under Kasmuel Makoure's invitation and hosting, and we outlined the 13 reasons we have prioritized why Ruto must go. Today, we are talking about total shutdown on Katiba Day, and we are asking Kenyans to be creative about how to make that happen. Now, I will draw to your attention one patriot that I respect a lot. His name is Julius Kamau. Julius Kamau does not wait for a crowd to gather, for a coalition to come together so he can go demand for the government to do that which the government is supposed to do. Julius Kamau gets out of his home, goes out to the streets, and ensures that every day he injects. He shows that there are people out there who are ready to hold the government to account. So on Katiba Day, I would like you to remember that there are petitions in court. For instance, there is a petition that is seeking that parliament is dissolved. Before Maraga left, he left an advisory with the president that he should have dissolved parliament. He never did. Now, a member of the National Provisional Coordination Committee of People's Assemblies, working with others, has succeeded in getting a 5-judge bench constituted to look into that petition. Now, if we do not exert pressure, you can be sure that this matter will be drawn for a long time, and most likely Kenyans will never have justice on that front. You are aware that Okiya Omtatah, working together with others, was able to defeat Finance Bill 2023 in our courts. The matter has gone from the High Court to the Court of Appeal. And then just the other day, the Supreme Court of Kenya gave some orders that breathed some life into Finance Bill 2023. Now, if you do not have a reason to come out on Katiba Day, remember these petitions. Remember that there is a petition that has collected evidence with regard to the over 36 instances when William Ruto has violated our constitution. William Ruto has lost the willful consent, public trust, favor, and legitimacy to serve for the remainder of his term. So, if not for anything else, if it's not for the university fees that you want to fall, come out, heed the call in Article 3 of our Constitution that we must all defend the Constitution. Pause at whatever time you choose and reflect on what you can do to ensure that those in office, starting with the president, are held to account for all the violations of this constitution. It has been mentioned that we have another conversation that is going on under Kasmuel's account. That's another front that we are using. You may have realized that there is a time that the conversation here dropped and it was going on the other side. The same thing has been happening on the other side too. So this is one team working together under a secretariat that was jointly agreed upon. And whatever work that's happening here is on provisional basis. Eventually, when we've done sufficient work in educating Kenyans, raising the level of civic and political education, Kenyans will decide on the way forward. I've had someone talk about Okiya Omtatah forming a political party. I would like to let them come into the coalition where they will get information that Okiya Omtatah has been building a vibrant, people-centric political party, the one that he ran to become the senator for Busia. We have other parties as well, but then we know parties have not served Kenyans as they were meant to. So we would like input from Kenyans from all walks of life about how to
Sefu, please
proceed.
mute your mic. Sefu, please mute your mic.
The goal is one, and the goal is Ruto must go. But after Ruto goes, are we going to have a structure where we can back the Kenyan dream? That remains the question. So please, tomorrow, watch out for a presser that the National Provisional Coordination Committee of People's Assemblies is going to give. Watch out for the programs that are been rolled out, and be sure to join an organization within your community, within your sphere of influence. Push them so they can join this coalition, and together let us birth the third liberation. Thank you, Sefu, and thank you, Okiya Omtatah,
Thank you
and
very
thank you
much.
everyone that has made this possible today.
Thank you very much, Mudiara. Comrades, I will have to request you because I can see that our time has gone and we have people who are still asking for the mic. If you allow it, we can agree that the space will go on until 11 p.m. and then we can close down. This will allow all the people who have requested for the mic to be able to have a chance to speak. There are people
I think for
who are
those of us
trying.
who have spoken, we can drop.
Sorry?
For those of us who have spoken, we can drop.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to bring in other speakers, and I don't know why we are unable to bring them. So there's Farah. I've tried to bring you up 4 times, and it keeps going back. I don't know why. Farah, I understand you're coming from very far, and the internet might not be so good. So I wanted to give you priority, but I can't seem to place you each time. So, Givigi, you want to speak for 2 minutes? Kindly take the space.
His Excellency, the near future President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. Okiya Omtatah, Honorable KOT and Honorable Sefu, the Secretariat on board, thank you for the opportunity this evening. For my introduction, is not here for a joke, or whatever I'm saying is not here for a joke, because I've had this big question in my mind, and whenever I attend any space, I have this question in my mind, because I'm wondering I'm wondering whether we are talking about inclusivity or revolution. Many people are coming here and talking about 2027. Many people are coming here and talking about creating or making or registering a party under Gen Z. But I think someone like Sefu is very clear and she is very eloquent. I'm happy about that. That we are now it is clear that the government has failed. President Ruto has failed. He has failed the constitution and his entire cabinet, including the judiciary and the judiciary and the parliament. They have failed us. I think we need a total overhaul. Sefu have just said that. So on the same matter, I wanted to add on something that last time a Messiah son from the KOT group of the space, and I'm here to support, and I can see we have different people here today. We have Sefu and the like, Baraka and other people here. I would like to appreciate you guys and humbly request you to be holding this space as it is today. So as in the near future, we can bring people like Kasmuel and the rest in the same space. So you guys kindly, Sefu and KOT, kindly stick together, be holding a same space, same time, so that we do not have division. So that we do not have different spaces in different times. So this message can be easy to transmit. Because the moment we hold different spaces, we will have different messages being spread out there. With time, when you hold same spaces, I can guarantee if you can hold spaces together, KOT, Sefu and Baraka and the Secretariat at large here, in a week's time, we will be able to bring the other guys inside and we can make a large space where we can communicate easily. Sefu, going on the matter of total lockdown on the Constitution Day or Katiba Day, that is, it was too thoughtful of you because it is a nice thing to do. This one we can make it and we can carry it to the State House or wherever it can go. It's good for us. It can help us grow this thing. It can help us grow this movement. Another request that I would like to have to the secretariat, now that we have a secretariat here, as you are engineering anything on everything, make sure we don't have anything to do with politics here in this movement. Make sure you don't have any political party in this movement. And when we have one, let us make it as a side thing, whereby we can make a political party and register it out of the movement, then get our members from the movement and make us represent us in the party, so that we can hold this movement. So that we can hold this movement as long as possible. Even if it can take 100 years holding this movement in Kenya, we can have it. This movement can always keep any government that is coming in place. This movement can keep it accountable. This movement can be held to be a Kenyan movement, Kenyan people movement. We don't need to be political. We don't have to have leaders. We have enough. We have a secretariat now. I'm glad to know that today we have a secretariat who are doing things, and I believe the secretariat are the people who are 100% volunteering. Nobody is paying you guys. You're doing the thing. Keep up. Let us hold this thing as long as possible. Let us overhaul the government. Let us not wait for 2027. Another thing, secretariat. Therefore, I'm dropping very soon. Another thing, secretariat, make sure you fight this thing of people coming up here and telling us about 2027. There's no way we will choose between thieves, bad thieves and worst thieves. There's no way we'll do that. Even if we can put one of us here, we can take someone like Muthiora or somebody like KOT or Safe. We put you, or we take like 50% of us here in the movement and put us in the government there, in the current Senate, in the current parliament. I want to prove you, or I want to guarantee you that you'll have nothing to do there. We have Senator Okiya here. Omtatah here. If there's something he could have done, he could not be in this space now. He could be in the Senate doing the thing that you think we can go and do there in 2027 when we get in the government. But the fact remains, and the fact that we have to live with it, the sad fact that we have is, even if we get included in the government, we have nothing to do there. There's nothing we can change with these people. They are already organized. They have their system. You'll get there, and when you sound like you have something to say against them, they'll just eat you down. You'll be found in Kware or the other places. Ruto promised that we'll never find people in Rivayala. It's okay. He has fulfilled that. We have not found anybody in Rivayala, but we have found mass in Kware. We don't know what happened about them. So kindly, the secretariat, make sure that anybody comes on board, they don't talk about 2027. If the
Comrade, I would like to just cut you short because you have spoken for a while now, and at least we have had your thoughts. So thank you, Gibegi. I want to clarify a few things. Muthiora and I are both in the Secretariat for the National Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly, and it is the organization that's planned for this and even the other space with kasmuel. Now, in this, it is a People's Assembly, but it is a coalition where we have different people from different organizations. Now, when you say that the issue cannot be political, I don't know what you mean, because at least one of the things that we hold in common is that everything that is affecting us is political. If you're fighting for social justice, for example, we do not have hospitals, we do not have roads. The reason why there's unemployment and extrajudicial killings is really because of the politics, the bad politics that is going on in the country. So how do we change this country? So when you say we cannot be political, because the economy being bad is a political issue. High taxation and bad policies, they are political issues. Foreign powers or the drafting of an IMF finance bill, it's a political issue. And maybe this is the only way, even this conversation we're having, when we say People's Assembly, people are talking about things that are not going well in their communities. I think those are political issues, and it's through the leadership, the great political leadership that we want to attain, is how we're going to change our country. In the People's Assembly, I will let you know that we have several political parties. As Muthiora said, We have the National Reconstruction Alliance, which is the party for Okiya Omtatah. It's there. We have the Communist Party of Kenya. We have Ukweli Party. We have United Green Movement. So we have different organizations. Apart from that, there are other organizations that are part of it, such as Madare Social Justice, Dandora Social Justice, women organizations like one I'm in, which is the World March of Women. So we have all these different organizations and people who have come together to form the People's Assembly. And each of us have an equal stake in the coalition. We have rules and guidelines like now the 13 reasons. They bring us together. The Tumekata Charter, which is refusing all these social evils. We are saying tumekata corruption kwa hii country. We are saying tumekata extrajudicial killings. We are saying tumekata debt crisis. We are saying tumekata unemployment crisis. So this is the way in which we are coming together and inviting all these people to come. Each of the people represented have an equal stake, and we are able to come together to have conversations and agree that this is how we're going to move, of course, with the help of the Secretariat. The Secretariat runs free of charge. Nobody pays us. We are not given money. It is completely voluntary. I hope I have answered you because you raised some pertinent issues, which it was important for me to say. Kenyans, I can see you speaking.
Kidogo tu. KOT kuna msee wetu we don't leave comrade akianguka. Kuna msee alikuwa anaitwa Psycho account yake ilianguka. We don't know about him. Siko rada kumuhusu. And I don't think tunafaa kumsahau. We should be hatufai kuacha msee akianguka. We should be like knowing msee wetu ako wapi, because hata Psycho alikuwa ana attend spaces zetu, amekuwa akiretweet nini zetu, amekuwa our fighter. So I don't know KOT unajuaje na story zake. Sijui kama unaweza tuongelea hiyo.
Okay, so okay. Just continue because we have a very different conversation. Thank you.
Proceed, KOT. KOT, proceed.
KOT, a minute before you proceed. I don't know if I can say something to Sefu. I hope Sefu, I think you have answered me a lot. You have to forgive us, engineers. We are not too much into this. What I'm saying about not being political, I was requesting you forgive my speech. I was trying to say that the current politics we have in Kenya, the current political group we have in Kenya, the Ruto and the group, the Ruto kids and whatever. I think we have to do away with this government and everything to do with it, judiciary and whatever, before we do anything else. I think the secretariat have to work on that. And that as the other Gen Zs and whatever, we need to work on revolution. I think I'm talking about revolution, to be clear on this, to be easy on it. Revolution. If we can do revolution, can you?
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. KOT, kindly also you respond to the question that was directed to you about cycle.
Okay.
And then we can take
so
three other speakers.
I think.
Farah, I don't know why I am unable to bring you in. KOT, kindly respond, and then we can take other speakers. Please, if you've already spoken, you can drop out so that it is easier to get other people in.
Okay, I think to respond to the question is that Psycho was amongst. He is one of the guys who are hosting the spaces for the movement, and of course his account it was banned. So I'll get in touch with him later. Then we see the way forward. So back to you, Sefu. Just continue with the conversation.
I don't know whether it's me or I cannot hear KOT.
We were able to hear him. Just carry on. We can also hear you. I'm sure we'll all catch up as we go.
All right. Sorry, I wasn't able to hear. Thank you very much, Mudiora, for that. Now, comrades, back to the conversation of the total shutdown. And of course, we are calling all of us to come out on Katiba Day with the 13 reasons why Ruto must go. I'll say them quickly one more time. The extrajudicial killing and the mass murder of Kenyans, the debt crisis, the unemployment crisis, the violation of the Constitution, the subversion of state institutions, the disregard for the people's voice, the puppet of foreign powers, corruption and looting, destruction of democracy, auctioning national assets, destroying healthcare and education, tribalism and cronyism, selling our land and natural resources, And these are amongst the reasons why we are calling all of us on the 27th to come out and for us to be able to speak truth to power and to defend our constitution. I would like to invite, okay, I can see the real Joe is, I'll invite Kenyan Lady and then I'll invite the real Joe to speak. Kindly take 2 minutes and then so that we can invite other people as well.
Asante sana Sefu. Nipe 100% kama wanaisikia. Thank you.
Nakusikia kabisa.
Thank you so much. So I want to speak about two things. The first thing is NCCPA is just the best idea that ever came out of this movement. And my main okay, I'm lacking some words, but which is never really like me. But I really, really like the way this has morphed into one big movement, which is really the movement for Kenyans. You know, hata kama wewe utakuwa mwanakanisa somewhere, I would ask for everybody. I don't know how we're gonna do this in order to educate people about what NCCPA is exactly. So sijui kama you will come up with just really short notes ambazo we will share everywhere, you know what I'm saying, over Twitter. I don't know how we're gonna work that out, but people need to know what exactly the movement is. Okay, it is a movement. It is not a political party. It's a movement that will lay down a political platform. You understand? It will lay down you know, anything political, anything that needs to be addressed politically. So hata ukiwa to a kanisa somewhere and you are encouraged, or you are you feel like you should belong somewhere where people are fighting politically for, you know, the ills in our society, corruption, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is the movement to be at. So number one, it is a movement. So I would urge for the Secretariat to come up with a way in which we can share out this thing for the next, I don't know how long. You know, starting today, we're just sharing and sharing and sharing. So conceptualize it, come up with like 5 points or 3 points, or however numbers of points ambazo will be able to explain. Well, I have followed it. I understand what it is, but I would urge that we narrow it down in a way that we can share with everybody. Alafu tuiandike kwa lugha zote mpaka Kiturukana, Kimasai, kila lugha. You know what I'm saying? So that all of us can feel like we belong. Number two, I would like for the Secretariat and the main people in the movement to tell us the role of diaspora in the movement. Thank you so much for the mic.
Thank you very much, Kenyan Lady, for that. And now we have had Keotia. I want to request you to add Muthiora Kariara as a co-host. I am not able to do that. We have had you, Kenyan Lady, and of course, the role of the diaspora is very important when it comes to all forms of support that we are going to need for the movement, when it comes to amplifying our voices, when it comes to speaking out when people are abducted, when it comes to even them holding their own forums. And I mean, if you have a protest here, they can have one there to say that we are in solidarity. So, I mean, the role of the diaspora is huge. The real Joe, you can come in for 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Sefu and KOT for hosting this space. First of all, maybe I would concur a little bit with the Kenyan lady in terms of the structuring of the message, why we want, why we are talking about Ruto must go. So maybe we can engage more in terms of structuring the message. But anyway, my mine will be very short. So basically, we are talking about
the National Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly, which is a very good concept that the Secretariat of this has started, and it's a continuous process for us. So quickly, I'll just talk about my own points, why I think Ruto must go and why I'll be on the Katiba March of 27th. So my first reason is I think this president does not fear God, which is something that our constitution talks about, the fear of Almighty God. And that is my first reason. The second reason for me is he has disregarded our constitution and dragged it on mud. So entirely, he does not regard our constitution. My third point, and this one even God hates as stipulated in the Bible, the lying tongue. He keeps lying everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes, he's a liar. My other point is he lacks legitimacy. And the people have rejected his policies outrightly. So he lacks legitimacy. My other point is he lacks human dignity. He orders for abductions, killings of innocent people, just demanding for their voices to be heard. That is lack of human dignity. He lacks humanity. And my final point, he is the master of corruption. And these are not even my words. He was named the most corrupt politician in the build-up to the previous election, and therefore he cannot be any better right now as a president. He is the master of corruption. All these are our problems in one place. All these are our problems in one place, and therefore our Katiba has not taken shape because of the leadership we've had since 2013, when when the first government came in that was supposed to nurture our constitution. In fact, the 2013 regime was supposed to bring up this constitution into life. It suppressed the constitution completely. And therefore, we can know on 27th, we will not be celebrating the constitution at 14. We'll be protesting that this constitution has been dragged. It has not been let to mature. We've not seen the beauty of it. We have not implemented it. So we are protesting on the 27th, saying that enough is enough. It is our enough that is going to be enough, not their enough. Thank you very much for the mic.
Thank you very much, Joe, for your remarks. Comrades, we only have 5 minutes. I want each of the people coming in to give us one reason for Katiba shutdown. Just one, kindly. Randy, Jemo, Ismail, Mido, in that order. Randy, Jemo, Ismail, Mido.
Comrade Sefu, we are not able to hear what the current speaker is saying, but as you try to sort out the mic problem they may be experiencing, I would like to take all those who are tuned in today to reason number 5 why we say Ruto must go, and that is subversion of state institutions. Ruto has captured and subverted every state and social institution, be it parliament, the judiciary, counties, even the churches, and he's been using them as tools for personal enrichment. And we are asking, for how long are we going to allow for our institutions to be corrupted? Now, you may recall that there is an IEBC selection panel that was put together. Now, we know that all institutions in this country have been captured. We are inviting you on Katiba Day that you join one of our member organizations, that is Free Kenya, who will be collecting signatures across the country to petition for a referendum, so we come up with a just and fair mechanism of coming up with an IEBC panel that is all inclusive. So in case you didn't have a plan, on Katiba Day, now that our Katiba is turning 14, so at 1400 hours, if you will be in a bus, if you'll be driving, if you'll be on a border, if you'll be doing your business or at work, Pause if you'll not be amongst the forces in the streets. Pause and reflect on what you can do to make Kenya a better country. Sefu, did you clear the mic problem we had?
No, I have not been able to, but unfortunately, comrades, because it's 2 minutes to 11, I would request that we close down this space and we meet next week again, where we will consolidate with the broader secretariat and members for us to have one big space so that we are not conflicted, in between the spaces. And we are together. This team, the team that was preparing the other event with Kasmuel, will be able to come together so that we have a much bigger space and we also consolidate our efforts. For those who have reached out, kindly send your contacts. For those who are interested in joining the National Coordination Committee for People's Assembly, so that we will send.
Sefu, kindly allow me
So
to
that
cut
we
you
will.
short, please.
Who is speaking?
Hello, this is David. Engineer David. Sefu, kindly allow me to cut you short, please.
Proceed.
So, Sefu, there's something I would like to say concerning guys on this space. If you know very well that your fellow colleague is somewhere looking for a job, or you have opportunity next to you, kindly share out to a fellow colleague so that he or she can get that job. Tusaidianeni, sisi ni wa Kenya. Like for me, next week on Tuesday, I will be looking for a safety authority person to help me on site construction. So I will post it here, and I'm very sure I will get the best candidate. Thank you.
That's Kenyan looking out
Thank
for
you very much.
fellow Kenyans. Therefore, as you look to conclude, I would just like to invite Kenyans, both in the country and those in the diaspora, to a press conference that the National Coordination Committee for People's Assemblies will be doing tomorrow starting from 9 a.m. Kasmuel mcoure, who was hosting the other X Space, is the spokesperson for this coalition. And tomorrow you'll see him in action together with all those others who are volunteering in this provisional body. Remember, you can be part of this. Your only qualification is this, that you are a patriotic Kenyan who is prepared to pay the price to move this nation forward. That's all that's required for you. We are still figuring out how to reach that last man in that village that is far-flung. We are glad we have representation from the Turkana People's Assembly. We have Kisumu, we have Kilifi, we have Mombasa. If you're not covered, please come together, organize, and then be part of this coalition. Ili ni kongamano lenu, ili ni kongamano lako, ili twende mbele, tunakuhitaji ukiwa mzima mzima. Ruto must go. We must live and live and live the Gen Z revolution. Sefu, take it away.
Thank you very much, Mudiara. At apapa.me, Mzalendo, Esquire, I'm calling out the names of the people whom we were not able to give an opportunity to speak. Kindly join us next week, and we'll be able to do that.
Okay.
For Ismail, unfortunately, guys, our time has really gone, and we also need to be people of order, considering tomorrow we have the presser. Heziaro, I see you. Steve KE, kindly. Let us join next week.
Let me just give you one word.
Let me, Heziaro.
Let me just give you only just one word. Maybe what I can say I can say that in Kenya, we have got several ways of making an easy solution, but we usually want to go after a very long way. Let me just give you one example before you close the space. The easiest way to change Kenya is to change the system of Kenya. I can reassure you, people will walk out in the after 2020, after date 27, then people will come back and hold space for at least 3 months and then again go for the same demonstrations again. If I were you people, I would rather support I would rather push for the change of the constitution that was currently sponsored by Eric Omondi. We have got it's very easy to change a constitution and even to remove a president rather than holding an endless protest, people dying in the street with nothing tangible coming at the end of the day. So if it were me, even if it's for matching for the constitution, let's have that changing constitution as some of our forefronts. Change constitution, remove all these unnecessary counties, unnecessary PSS positions. So this is what will bring something better in the table. But just marching in the street, reassure me, and somebody may recall what I've said. We will go to the street and
Comrade, allow me to interject. We are marching towards Katiba Day on Tuesday. We are part of the school of thought that believes that we have not fully implemented the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Attempts have been made. It's not as easy as you say it is, but what we are for is full implementation of this Constitution. Our Constitution is not inadequate. That at least all members of the coalition are in agreement with. So we invite you to interact with our material. We interact you to educate. Maybe there is something most of us are not seeing as to why we should look to amend our constitution. But first, before we amend this constitution, let's fully implement it. Sefu, you are closing, and I invite everyone that has input to make to join us in future engagement. Thank you, Okiya Omtatah, for having us. Thank you, KOT. Sonko.
Thank you.
Yes, Sefu.
Thank you, Muthiora. Thank you, KOT Sonko. Thank you, Okiya Omtatah, for the space. Nonini and Willie Oeba and Ayo, who launched the song on social justice. Thank you very much. Comrades, thank you so much for joining this platform. I will just finish with a very short song, which after this we can exit. All right, I'm having trouble with that, but thank you all so much. We'll see you again next week for another session. We will talk about how it has been. We invite you to join the National Coordination Committee for the People's Assembly. We invite you tomorrow for a presser at Chester House, 9 a.m. Karibuni sana. We'll be discussing all these issues. We'll address the press, and we will be on the street on the 27th. Good night, good people, and see you. Sonko, the honors is on you.
Okay.
To end the space.
I've been trying to bring the senator up here because he had requested the mic. He dropped off, but I can see he's out of the space. So just want to thank you guys for joining us on this space this evening, and I want also to let you know that apart from this space and other spaces, normally me, Ayo, Wanyama, Afrocentric, and Kowino, we always host spaces on Sauti ya Mwananchi on a daily basis to 10 a.m. and in the evening from 8 p.m. 10 to 11 p.m. on weekdays. So we'd like to invite you any day, and Sefu, Diora, and Kina Okiya, whenever you are having such discussions, ensure you are letting us know so that we cannot have different spaces running at the same time, speaking the same message. But it will be so good if we have a similar space where we'll urge each and every person who loves the movement to join us. So I really want to thank you guys, and I also want to wish you a good night, and always stay tuned on these spaces. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Unity, peace, and liberty. Let it be founded in our blood.